Hey, it's Tara, your yoga bestie, and I'm so happy that you're here to practice with me today. We're not using any props in particular, but I always like to have my blocks. So if there's anything that you like to have to make your experience better, please be sure to have them nearby. And we'll start out in a reclined position today. So make your way onto your back and determine where you want your arms and legs to be. You can settle in by wiggling into that space. And then let's close our eyes as we start to tap into our ujjayi breath. So inhaling and exhaling through the nose, letting go of any thoughts or worries so that we can just focus our mind on our practice. And yeah, so like maybe we inhale to the count of 3, 4, 5, or even 6, exhaling the same, or maybe making that exhalation a little bit longer, but just creating that rhythm that you'll keep throughout the practice. And while you're tuning into your breath, we've been talking about the niyamas in my class, which is our inner practices and our self-relationship. It's the second of the 8 limbs of yoga. And there are 5 different parts. We were in the third of the 5, which is tapas, which is definitely delicious Spanish food. But in this instance, it's discipline, our inner fire. We're using a definition of devotion without burnout. And our focus for this class is building inner strength. So today we explore inner strength, not the kind that comes from forcing ourselves to do more, but the kind that comes from knowing ourselves well enough to keep showing up without burning out. So what could strength include? It could include staying when something feels uncomfortable in the practice. It could be breathing when the body wants to tense up. It could be choosing a modification without shame. It could be returning after losing focus during a part of the practice. It could be resting when you're feeling depleted. It could be trusting yourself. So lots of different ways that we can show our inner strength, but that is also our tapas, our practice. It's our showing up, our just making our way to our mat no matter what. And sometimes that's just all you need to do. You just need to make sure you show up and just see what happens. Don't worry about the outcome. Don't have expectations. Just give yourself grace and allow yourself to just be. And if you spent this entire time just breathing on your mat, you're still doing yoga. So that's a perfect practice. On our next inhale, let's find a nice full body stretch. We can extend the arms up overhead, extend our legs out in front of us. Any other movement that feels good at this time, maybe moving the head from side to side, maybe making some rotations of the wrists and ankles, just saying hello to our body. And then let's bring our hands together at our heart center, our Anjali Mudra, as we set our intention for our practice, which just might be tapas or devotion without burnout, and working on building that inner strength. Or maybe something else comes to mind that speaks to you in this moment. Please honor that. And let's take another big breath in here. Exhale, let it go. All right, so from this space, let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. We can start to rock along the spine. Can find our happy baby pose, or maybe place our hands onto our knees, just making little circles as we go in one direction and the other. You know, whatever easiest for petting your dog. Maybe you find that pose. And if you notice any areas of tension or tightness, you maybe hang out in that space a little bit longer, breathe into it. Yeah, 2 more breaths here as we inhale. Exhale. Big breath in. And then on our exhale, go ahead and bring your knees into your chest. Give them a nice big hug, maybe around the spine, draw the nose towards the knees, making yourself in this little ball. And then we'll lower our head down. We're going to reach our arms up towards the sky. We're going to extend our legs up as well. Maybe finding a little bit of rotations in through the ankles. And your choice, you can keep your head on the mat or you can lift it up to a hover. Either way, you're going to be gazing straight up. And then we go ahead and reach our right leg out in front of us to a hover. Left arm comes to a hover overhead. And then we bring it back and we switch out sides. And that's really what we're doing. We're inhale as we extend, exhale, bring it to center. Couple more times on each side. Last round. And then go ahead and lower the head down if it's lifted. Bring your big toes towards one another and keep those arms up. Taking a big breath in. As you exhale, act like you're pushing upward as you lift up your head and draw those knees in towards your armpits, like you're in crow pose on your back. Keep lifted from the upper part of the body. We're just lowering the seat down, and then we lift up those knees to try to touch those triceps. We're here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. We'll bring our head down and bring those knees into our chest, maybe just giving us a little bit of a rock here. And then we'll make our way into our standing forward fold. So if you want to take a few rocks before you make your way there, totally okay. As we come into this space, we'll widen our stance, at least hip distance apart. So that's about 2 fists in between the feet. I like a little bit wider than that. And then find an arm variation you like, maybe reaching for opposite elbows, maybe bringing the arms behind the back. You can shake the head out. Just noticing what your breath is doing as you come into this shape. So oftentimes we'll start to hold the breath. See if you can turn it on here as you inhale and exhale through the nose. One more big breath in. Exhale, release your arm variation. Start to bring your feet in towards one another with a little bit of a bend in the knees as we roll all the way up to standing. Soon as our head lifts, let's reach those arms up and back. Exhale, hands come to heart center. We'll work those shoulders back as we lift up through the chest. Big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. So we can swan dive or bring the hands through the heart. On our inhale, we lengthen halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. And then let's plant the palms. We'll step our left foot back, coming into our runner's lunge. So I'm going to bring in my blocks here to bring the floor a little bit closer to me as I start to shift forward and back. So it's like we're coming into a runner's lunge and then a pyramid-like pose. And I like this variation where I lower my knee as I come forward, but you don't have to do that, or you can keep it down the entire time. Next time that we shift it forward, hold it here. Plant the hands, really pushing the floor away to find your plank or push-up position, nice and strong as we inhale. Exhale, lower to the belly for 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1, we come all the way down. Tops of the feet come to the mat, hands are underneath our shoulders. We'll inhale, lifting up cobra pose. Exhale, we lower. And just start to move through these at the pace of your breath. We might come onto our fingertips in a wide stance and then bring in some shoulder dips here if that feels nice. Yeah, and the next time that you lower that head down, go ahead and make your way into your first down dog of the practice. We'll lift up those hips nice and high. We can start to bicycle the legs out. We might have a bend in the knees as we move those hips from side to side. Good time to check in with your breath as you come into this shape. So notice if you started to hold it at all. We're going to inhale and exhale through the nose. Take one more big breath in. Exhale. Inhale, we shift it forward, plank pose. Exhale, let's lower onto our knees. So we're coming into our tabletop position, maybe finding a little bit of movement here, like some lateral movement from side to side, maybe some cat-cow movement. And then really spread through the fingers nice and wide. Find a little bit of a grip with the fingertips, tucking your toes under as we keep a long neck, so we're gazing towards the front of the mat. And we'll hover those knees, and we're just going to move them from side to side. And this might be where you stay. This is step 1. If you're like, not too bad. As you bring the knees over towards the side, left side, I'm going to kick my right leg out, and I can keep my hand down, or I can bring that hand to my chest. And then when I swivel the other way, I extend the left leg as I bring that right hand in towards my chest. So I'm just going from side to side like this. But you decide what you want to incorporate or not. Next time you're towards the left side, If that leg isn't extended, go ahead and extend it, put it onto the floor. And we're taking a big step over with our left foot. Bring it to the front of the mat. Maybe you have a block here for you for half moon as we open it up by lifting up that right arm and leg. Really flexing through the foot here. Big breath in. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Take a big step back. And we're moving into our exalted warrior. So right arm reaches up as we lean in towards the left. Gaze can be up towards the fingertips or past your shoulder. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. And then step that right foot forward for our yogic squat, malasana. So hands will come to heart center. We can breathe into the space. We can always place something underneath us like a block if that makes it more accessible. You might lift up your gaze to help draw the shoulders back so you don't feel like you're hunched forward. You might press onto your thighs along each side, creating some space into those hip flexors. You might just hang out here and just breathe in this space. It's a great pose to open up the lower back, the ankles, the hips. And let's take another big breath in here. Exhale, bring those hands down. Keep your gaze forward. See if you can float it right back into that hovering tabletop. And then back to malasana. And just see if you can move through those movements a few times. It's kind of fun. Next time you come to that floating tabletop, go ahead and lower the knees. So now you're no longer floating. From here, we'll extend through our right leg. Toes are tucked as we shift forward and back, opening up this calf muscle. And next time that you extend through the heel, push into the mat, rounding the upper back, giving yourself a little bit more of a stretch there. Inhale. Exhale, come back to neutral spine, right leg lifts. Left arm comes forward, coming into our spinal balance. We're going to draw the elbow and knee to center for 3, for 2, 1, and then we extend, bringing that left hand down, bringing the right leg behind the left, and we'll scoot it all the way back as we set up for our seated twist. So we're hugging this left knee in as we sit up nice and tall. Left arm comes behind us, right arm reaches up as we hug that knee in, or we use our elbow as leverage. Shoulders draw down as we lengthen, inhale. Exhale, belly button to spine as we go deeper into our twist. One more breath in. Exhale. And then we release. If you're with me with our practice last week, we did a whole 360 where the opposite leg was on top. This time we're doing about half of that, so like a 180. So I'm walking my hands towards the right side as I unravel. And as soon as I face the back, my left leg is the balancing leg as I bring my right foot in, coming into our tree pose. So then hands can come to heart center, or you might work those arms up overhead as you lift up through the chest and the gaze. Big breath in here. As we exhale, go ahead and bring it to where your feet are parallel. So we'll find our mountain pose at the back of our mat. And since we're here, I'm just gonna casually bring my blocks over here so that I have them. Take a big breath in. Exhale. On our inhale, arms reach, gaze lifts. Exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Exhale, plant the hands. Step your right foot back this time as you come into your runner's lunge, so left foot is forward. And we'll start to shift forward and back from that runner's to that pyramid-like pose. See what's going on this side. It may be a completely different experience. That's totally cool. That's totally normal. Next time that we shift it forward, hold it here. Plant the hands, really pushing the floor away as we pick up that foot for our plank pose. Big breath in. Exhale, we'll slowly lower, maybe to a hover this time, chaturanga. Inhaling into our cobra, or maybe up dog if you're ready. And we'll exhale into our down dog, lifting up those hips. We might find some more movement here. We've second down dog, so just check in with the body. One more big breath in. Exhale, and then we'll inhale, shifting it forward. Exhale, lower those knees down for our tabletop. So from our tabletop, really activating through the hands and tucking those toes under so that we can come into our hovering tabletop. So same options as before, we can swivel the knees from side to side. Or if we know we're ready, we can start to extend our left leg to the right leg to the left, and go from side to side. It's kind of fun, right? Next time the left leg is extended, or if it isn't because you kept them in, extend it, bring it onto floor. It's kind of like a baby fallen triangle pose. And you can always slide this leg in as close to your other one as you need to take a step over for half moon. So we lift up the left arm and leg this time as we open it up to the side. Big breath in here. Exhale, lower the left hand, take a big step back. We're coming into our exalted warrior. So leaning in towards the right, left arm is up, right arm is down. Keep softening through that knee. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Malasana, our yogic squat at the back of our mat. So, same things that we can do here. Can open up, maybe move and shift from side to side. Maybe you bring the tops of the hands together this time to come into a little bit of a wrist stretch. And then we get to play with floating to that floating table, our hovering tabletop, to our malasana. And just play with this a few times. Yeah, next time you're there, go ahead and lower the knees. We find a little bit of a movement here. And then we'll extend through the left leg. Those toes tuck under as we start to shift forward and back, creating some space there in the calf. Next time you extend through the calf, push into the mat, round the upper back, creating a little bit more of a stretch. And then come back to your neutral spine. Left leg will lift, right arm extends, spinal balance, where we'll bring it into center for 3, for 2, 1, and then we extend, bring that hand down. Left leg comes behind, and we scooch it all the way back for a seated twist. So right knee is in towards our chest as we sit up nice and tall. Right arm comes behind the back, left arm reaches up as we hug or use that elbow as leverage. Shoulders down as we lengthen. Exhale, maybe go a little bit deeper into that space. One more breath in. Exhale. And then go the other direction. We do that spin for that 180. Right leg is the base leg. Left foot comes to the inside as we come into our tree pose. Finding your arm variation. Big breath in. Exhale. And then we release for mountain. Let's inhale, reaching those arms up, gaze lifts. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen halfway. Hands plant, gaze is forward as we step or float it back. Making our way through the vinyasa, or you can always skip it. Making your way to down dog, however you want to get there. Big breath in. Exhale, soften the knees, gaze forward as you step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant. We step or float it. Making our way to our down dog. Big breath in. Exhale, soften those knees. We gaze forward as we step or float to the front. Inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, forward. Last one, let's reverse. Reach it up and back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, we lengthen. Hands plant as we step or float. Making our way to our down dog or any resting position of choice. How you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. That's our warm-up for today, which means we've done almost the entire practice of what we'll be doing today, because my warm-up has almost every single pose that we do for our two main sequences that I call peanut butter and jelly. So we do peanut butter 3 times, jelly 3 times, and at the end we bring them together for a delicious peanut butter and jelly sequence sandwich, which is pretty tasty. Is it as tasty as tapas? I don't know, but maybe. The point is, you're well ahead of what you think you are already. And we are going to be meeting in tabletop for both peanut butter and jelly today, so no surprises there. So get what you need, and let's make our way to our hands and knees. We're practicing tapas, so devotion without burnout, and we're also building on our inner strength. Part of that inner strength is listening to your body, right? So from here, we're going to spread through the fingers, tucking those toes under as we lift them up to a hover. And then we swivel those knees towards the left, we kick. We swivel to the right, we kick. And then we come right back, and then we let that leg come down for our baby fallen triangle pose that we're gonna take a big step over, so left foot comes over as we move into our half moon. Really flexing through that foot as you lean back, opening up through the chest. Inhale. Exhale, step it back. Moving into our exalted warrior, so right arm is up as we lean in towards the left. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down and step it forward for malasana. So a little bit of little extras for this first round. Should you want to play, we did crow pose on our back at the beginning. That was very intentional because maybe we're going into crow pose now. So we can bring our hands down, can lift up our seat, working those knees onto the triceps. Gazes forward as you continue to push the floor away. Maybe you lift up one leg at a time. Maybe you find that you can lift both up, bringing those big toes together like we did on our back. As they come together, they start to draw upward. As they draw upward, keep pushing the floor away and bring your gaze forward so that we can create stability. If we're gazing down, your head is really heavy. So it's gonna make it not only heavier, it's gonna make it less successful. So give it a try, see what happens. If it doesn't happen today, it's totally okay. But just know that crow pose is really our foundational arm balance. So, you know, it's the gateway arm balance. So once you get that, a lot of the other ones start to come easier because it's like something has clicked in the body. So give it a try, see what happens. We'll give it another try on the other side too. So from our malasana, hands come down and we hop it back into our hovering tabletop because that is peanut butter for today. So now the knees swivel over towards the right first, left leg extends. Ta, ta, ta. And then next time we go over towards the right, left leg lowers. We take a big step over, half moon, opening it up. Boop. Flexing through that foot, finding that activation. Big breath in. Exhale, big bend in the knee. We come into our exalted, left arm up as we lean in towards the right. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Malasana. So here we are again. Isn't this fun? We don't have to do crow pose again, but if you want to try it, give it a try. If you're like, Tara, that's so easy. If this is easy for you, that is awesome. I'm very happy for you. But maybe if it's easy, you make your way into a tripod. So you have to really keep pushing the floor away so that you don't just knock yourself out to bring that head down as the chin draws in towards the chest. Big toes are together still. Knees are on the triceps. We want to bring the knees together. Can we bring them together? And then start to extend through the legs like they're creating one leg here. It's worth a shot. See what happens if crow pose is easy, and that's a great next step. Yeah, that's all I've got for you today. From here, we're just gonna start to move through the practice. So we can bring those hands down as we float it back. And we kick towards the left, kick towards the right, left, lower that leg, step it over. We inhale, coming into our half moon. Exhale, big step back. Inhale into our exalted. Exhale, we cartwheel those hands down and we find malasana. Big breath in. Exhale, plant the hands, float it back. Knees swivel over towards the right, left leg, left leg, baby fallen triangle pose. We step over, half moon, left arm and leg lift. Exhale, big step back. Inhale into our exalted. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Malasana. Hands come down, hovering table. Knees swivel to the left, right leg, right leg, baby fallen triangle pose. Step it over. Right arm and leg lift. Big step back for our exalted. Woo. Exhale, hands come down. Malasana to our hovering tabletop. We're already on the last side. Left leg extends, step it over. Half moon to our exalted, to our malasana, to our hovering table where we can lower those knees down. How are we doing? You're doing amazing. So be very proud of yourself already because peanut butter is already over. That is such a big deal. So maybe get a drink of water. Maybe towel off. Maybe check in with your breath. We know where we're going. I already told you. We're going to tabletop for jelly as well. So let's make our way there. We're practicing our tapas, devotion without burnouts, building inner strength. We've got all of the things. All right. So from our tabletop, right leg extends, left arm reaches forward for our spinal balance as we inhale. Exhale, we draw to center. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, lower that hand and bring the right leg behind so we can scoot it all the way back for our seated twist. Hugging this knee in, we twist towards the left. Big breath here. Exhale. And then we spin the other direction for tree pose facing the back. Left leg is our foundation leg. Right leg comes to the inside as we open it up. Inhale. As we exhale, step it back, runner's lunge to our twist. So right hand is down, left arm reaches up. And then we bring that hand down and we find our tabletop position. That is our jelly. Left leg extends, right arm forward as we inhale. Exhale, bring it to center. Inhale, we extend, right arm lowers, left leg behind, scoot it all the way back. And then we twist to the right. Big breath in. Exhale. We go the other direction and we do a spinny as we come into our tree pose. So left foot to the inside of the right leg as we find our version of tree. Inhale. Exhale, step it back, runners. To our runners, twist, right arm up. And then we make our way back to tabletop. Right leg, left arm, we inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, bring that right leg behind and scoot it back. We twist towards the left, big breath in. Exhale, and then we spin it to the back. Tree pose, right foot comes to the inside. We'll grow that tree as we inhale. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, runner's twist. Exhale, make your way to tabletop. Left leg, right arm, we inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale, make our way to our seat. And then we twist to the right. Big breath in. Exhale. We spin the other direction. Left foot to the inside of the right leg as we find our tree pose. Big inhale. Exhale, we step it back. We inhale, runner's twist. And then we exhale to our tabletop. Last round, right leg, left arm. Inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale, we extend. Exhale, right leg comes behind. And then we twist to the left. Inhale. Exhale. Go the other way. Tree pose, right foot to the inside. And we'll grow that tree as we inhale. Exhale, step it back, runners. Inhale, runners twist. And then we exhale, making our way to our tabletop. Left leg, right arm, we inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale, bring that leg behind. We twist to the right, full breath in. Exhale. We spin the other way for our tree pose, left foot to the inside. Arms reach, big breath in. Exhale, we step it back. Inhale, runner's twist. And exhale to our tabletop, which should only mean one thing. It is peanut butter and jelly time. Who is excited? Yeah, I think that was everybody. Everybody just said they were excited. I'm so happy about that. So get what you need. We are doing this one last time. Tapas, devotion without burnout, building our inner strength. We got this. We're going to our tabletop. So let's just go there. Tabletop. All right. Hover those knees. Knees over towards the left. We kick that right leg. Cha-cha-cha, left leg. Right leg. And then we hop it over. Half moon as we open it up. Step it back as we inhale our exalted. Exhale, hands lower. Malasana. Big breath in here. Exhale, hands come down. Bring it back to that floating table and then lower the knees. Right leg, left arm as we inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale. Exhale, bring that right leg behind. We twist to the left. Big breath in. Exhale. We spin the other direction. Tree pose, right foot comes to the inside. Arms can reach as we take a big breath in. Exhale, step it back. Inhale, runner's twist. Exhale to our tabletop, which means the first side is done. Tuck those toes under. Lift up those knees. They swivel over towards the right. Left leg. Right leg. Left leg, we lower it. We take a big step over. Half moon, left arm and leg lift. Big step back to our exalted, left arm is up. And we cartwheel to malasana, our yogic squat. Big breath here. Exhale, hands come down, float it back, and then lower those knees. Left leg, right arm, we inhale. Exhale to center. Inhale, exhale, setting up for our seated twist to the right. Big breath in. Exhale, spin it the other way. Tree pose, facing the front. Left foot to the inside, arms reach as we inhale. Exhale, step it back, runners. Inhale, runners twist. And we exhale to our tabletop, which means you did it. Amazing work. We'll make our way to a seated position. And as we come into that seated position, take a moment just to find some stillness here. So maybe close the eyes. You can place your hands onto your knees. If you need more grounding, palms could be down. If you need to receive, palms might be up. And if you're advanced, maybe put a big smile on your face because you just did it. You did amazing. Take a moment just to check in with your breath in this shape. Slow it down if it was sped up. And here's the thing. You can stay here. Make this your final pose. If there's anything else you want to do upright before making your way to a reclined space, or maybe you make your way to a reclined space to come into any finalizing poses before making your way to shavasana, it's your practice. So do what you need. I'm going to be here in this seated position, but what's most important is that you feel complete. So getting in what you need and knowing that your version of shavasana is waiting for you, however you decide to do that today. And as you come into that space, just allow your breath to be soft and your body to be still so that you can allow all of the benefits of the practice to sink in, which you deserve because you worked so hard to do so. And just allow yourself to be. No worries, just be. As always, stay here as long as you need. If you're ready to come out, you can always bring in some small movements like wiggling the fingertips and the toes, maybe finding a full body stretch or just moving the body around. We'll meet in a seated position with hands at heart center as we tuck the chin under. And I just want to thank you so very much for joining me in this practice today. It means the world to be able to lead you. And thank you for coming with an open mind and practicing your tapas or devotion without burnout and being able to tap into that inner strength today. You did an amazing job. And until next time, namaste. Mwah.